What's going on YouTube? JT Jaborn here, and welcome back to another edition of my DC Comics and Godzilla and Kong related comic book reviews. We are here. This is the finale of Justice League vs. Godzilla vs. Kong, issue number 7, and wow, what a pitch perfect comic book series. I mean, this thing is just nonstop action, adrenaline. It has the really awesome cool stuff. And it's also grounded in a bit of an emotional core too. So it's not just, big things punching each other, which is the main reason you're going to think this. There actually is some heart to it as well. And just the crazy stuff that happens in here. I mean, as a fan of both these IPs, this is a perfect 7-issue comic book series. In fact, my only disappointment is it's over. I want more. Like, this is the stuff that I feel like comic books were made for, is cool, awesome stuff. I mean, this is just cool. Like, sometimes you just gotta have something that's just awesome. So let's quickly summarize what happens. I mean, you have Kong wielding a Green Lantern ring where he creates a construct of his own axe, Superman and Batman and Mechagodzilla and Godzilla, and it's just all crazy stuff, like one after the other. But anyway, so let's quickly summarize. So Superman back, kind of awake. They're trying to find the little Dreamstone thing there, or the Magic Wishing Stone that Toyman had taken. Eventually, they find that Toyman was kind of crushed. So, and then we get this big battle. I mean, the Kristen Duce, Brian Buccellato wrote this one. The Kristen Duce art. I mean, look at this. Look at all this stuff going on at once right here. I mean, you got Green Arrow, you got all the different heroes of DC's world, and the monsters and mechas and titans. You have Skullcrawler Prime and all that other stuff, and it just looks really cool. I mean, this is just epic and visually stunning from start to finish. It's just, my goodness, does it look great. Of course, Guy Gardner had passed away in, I think it was the previous issue, so his ring has to find another host, and that host eventually becomes Kong. There's also a lot of great pages that visually, do some storytelling without any real, kind of sense of dialogue, because a lot of it's told with the artwork. My God, we need an animated movie of this. Like, we need something ASAP. But then you have Beast Boy in his ape form teaming up with Kong, and that's just really kind of cool. This is the best thing Beast Boy has done in many years I can think of, like him turning into a giant ape to work alongside Kong. How can you not love that? I mean, I want more like Beast Boy and Kong team-ups just like this. I mean, that's just against the Skullcrawler Prime, Batman and his giant mechs versus Mechagodzilla, that we get a moment where he has to break his back, very similar to when Bane broke his back, and it's just sweet. And then, of course, Superman has to find something from Godzilla's foot, which of course is where the stone has been at, and he tries to lead him into battle to fight against this stuff. And yeah, Kong wields a Green Lantern ring. Who would have thought before this series began that we'd have King Kong wielding a giant Green Lantern power ring? I mean, Green Lantern Kong is just a really awesome concept. Of course, you get the nods of the Bane breaking Batman's back, but it's Batman using his giant mecha to break Mechagodzilla's back in half. And then Superman comes in with Godzilla. They have to team up against this thing, and I mean, that's all you really need to know. Eventually, like I said, the characters return home. Superman and Lois have their nice little moment together, but wow, what an amazing crossover right there. I mean, just look at that, the destruction. I mean, I can't help but smile about this. This is just one of the most fun, entertaining comic books that I have read in years. I mean, every issue was a joy to read. I mean, I feel like if you're a MonsterVerse fan or a DC fan, you have to pick this series up. You get the characters together. This is the event stuff I'm talking about. I feel event fatigued a lot of stuff at DC, but not this. If you can give me cool, awesome stuff like this, I needed this. As a fan of these characters and just wanted to see them do, put in, rather crazy, wacky scenarios and just kind of have fun with it, this is exactly the stuff I'm looking for. So, I loved it. And for my MonsterVerse, and also, too, it's bringing my primary audiences together. I got my DC and Godzilla stuff into one thing, MonsterVerse primarily. But yeah, this was the last issue of it, and it's also the last MonsterVerse related thing we're going to be getting for a little while at least. I think there's supposed to be a video game that's coming out this year, but until then, it's the next season of Monarch, probably the next film and some spin-off stuff. So we're going to be going on a bit of a MonsterVerse hiatus for a little bit, and it's going to be kind of sad, but at the same time, I had a lot of fun with it, and I'm looking forward to seeing where we could go from here. I'm hoping for some more graphic novels with the MonsterVerse. I mean, the trade paperback thing is going to come out for this thing, I think, next month, so it'd be wise to pick that up, and I do intend to purchase that trade paperback, because I think it's really going to be, a must-have if you're a fan of this stuff. And I have all the other MonsterVerse graphic novels anyways, and like I said, having Batman, Superman, all the DC characters in here, I mean, along with, Godzilla and Kong and the MonsterVerse characters, I just smiled. I think this really needs an animated movie adaptation. I mean, there's a lot to draw from here. You can bring in all the different characters. Not sure, like I said, because you got Toho involved in the whole rights situation, or you can even do live action. This would be $1 billion movie instantly if you bring the Justice League together with the characters of the MonsterVerse. billion film. Like, absolutely, like, billion. Like, take the same storyline, just rip it from here. Maybe you have a little tweak since we're post Godzilla x Kong, and then, you know, give us Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong as a film. $1 billion film, guaranteed, maybe one of the biggest openings of all time. But you got to reestablish Justice League and then bring in the MonsterVerse characters. I think we'll be pretty golden. So if we could potentially get something like this in live action, I think people would love the hell out of it. I mean, the image of Godzilla fighting Superman, Batman, and all that is giant mech stuff. Like, it would make like $1 to $2 billion. Like, it would be one of the highest grossing films of all time. Like I said, even if you take this bear story right here, I think it would be absolutely incredible. So, yeah, I loved it. I say purchase it, buy. This is the more of the stuff that we need. I hope we get a sequel of sorts, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it, and it's nice to be very enthusiastic about something like, you know, comic book related. So, I loved it. I mean, check it out, like, if you will. Like, it's sweet. Artwork is fantastic. I mean, this is a really well-drawn comic book. And it still has the heart to it, with the emotional anchor with Superman and Lois at the heart of the story. So I loved it. Must watch, or must read. Buy it now. So yeah, that's all I have to say about this one. I got some more like other comic books reviews to kind of be coming up very soon, but I want to get this one out of the way. And yeah, we'll see whatever happens next. But I think this one was fantastic. So all right, well, that's all I have to say. As always, take care now. Bye-bye then, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace out.